Hello guys, today I'll be reviewing Limp Bizkit's debut album, $3 Bill, y'all. But yeah, definitely a more raw album in their discography. Definitely the band at their rawest, from the aggression to the production, of course from Ross Robinson, who is definitely a big name when it comes to nu metal. But yeah, this is an album that I've lived with for a while. Again, if you're not familiar with my channel, or if you don't know much about me, I became a fan of this band sometime around middle school, and this was an album that I did play a lot, along with other albums like, of course, Significant Other and Chocolate Starfish. But yeah, today I was listening to some of their stuff, and I figured, hey, why not go ahead and review this album? Now, I'm not going to review their whole discography. Maybe sometime in the future I will, who knows, but again, I did want to talk about this album, so let's go ahead and dive into it track by track. So the album starts off with intro. Excuse me. So kind of a interesting intro. Someone talking about Jesus, and there's some commentary or spoken word that's in this intro, but eventually it leads into the next song, Pollution, which definitely gives you a good idea of what you're in for with this album. From, again, the raw aggression from both the vocals, such as in the chorus, to the raw aggression from the guitar, and of course the production also, as I mentioned earlier. But overall, definitely a banger of a song. But then we get to one of the bigger songs on the album, and I believe this was the first single, if I remember correctly, off the album, Counterfeit. And yeah, definitely a highlight off the album. I really like Fred's flows in the verses. Then you get his more aggressive vocal work in the chorus, and yeah, another banger on the album. This album has a lot of bangers, but this song definitely is no exception. Still a song that still holds up for me today, and honestly, I just can't get enough of this song. But if I remember correctly, this was a song that they paid a radio station to play 50 times. So if you didn't know that, there's a fun little fact for you. But yeah, Counterfeit, definitely a great song. And also that song, it's about people who try to be something that they're not in order to look cool in front of other people. So definitely an interesting topic. But then we get to one of my personal favorites off the album, Stuck. Especially with its overall uniqueness on the album, mainly due to the guitar work. The song just has a nice groove to it, especially in the middle section. But yeah, I don't know, I really like this song a lot. You definitely have some quotable lyrics in the song too, such as the Pepsi line. But yeah, kind of an underrated song, I'd say. But yeah, it's always been one of my personal favorites. But then we get to another personal favorite for me, Nobody Loves Me. This song is basically, well, if I remember correctly, Fred Durst said that this song was about his mother, basically about the feelings he would get when his mother would ground him, the thoughts that would go in his mind when he'd get in trouble or anything like that with his mom. But this song is just raw, angsty, and just, I don't know, and musically probably one of my favorite songs on the album, especially with the middle section. It's just, again, raw, and the guitar work, the riffs are just really in your face. And yeah, Fred, definitely maybe one of his most aggressive songs, or most emotional songs by far, maybe. But yeah, I really love that song. But then we get to the song Sour, and this song was inspired by a past girlfriend he had, a girlfriend that he lived with. And yeah, this was another single off the album, also had a music video, and definitely a good song to listen to, of course, if you're going through a hard time in a relationship, and if you're really pissed off with a girl. And yeah, I don't know, maybe not as aggressive as other songs on the album, but I think the song has some intriguing melody to it, specifically in the verses. But yeah, I don't know what it is about this song, but I don't know. I've always really liked it. I never really had a problem with really any of the songs on the album, but that song, kind of a unique song on the album, a little bit different from the rest of the album. It's kind of, again, not as aggressive, but still a pretty solid song, I'd say. But then we get to definitely a unique song on the album, and also one of their most lengthiest songs, Stalemate. Instrumentally, definitely different. Musically goes some pretty interesting places. You get some aggression, such as in the chorus, and you do get some moments that are a bit more melodic, but overall, musically, a very intriguing song. That's the best way I'd summarize this song. But yeah, and overall, I think the song does enough to keep you engaged through the whole, I want to say 6 or 7 minutes or so. I believe it's around 6 minutes. I could be wrong, but yeah, overall, pretty cool song that I think is kind of overlooked from the album. But then we get to a more straightforward song called Clunk, and this is another song that I think is kind of underrated, kind of overlooked. I especially really like Fred's flow work in the verses. Definitely a highlight for me with this song. But then you have the more straightforward rock chorus, and yeah, flow-wise, I just really like Fred Durst in this song. But then we get to the George Michael cover, that song being Faith, and this song definitely gets its share of heat, but I like this song. I mean, yeah, vocally, Fred Durst, maybe not always on key. I mean, I watched this video from Sea of Tranquility. If you're not familiar with that channel, it's a channel that talks about rock and metal. You have reviews and discussions and many other things, but one of those videos we're talking about cover songs, and I remember one of the guests he had talked about this song, and they were just really trashing on his vocal performance. But yeah, his vocal performance in the song is not going to be for everybody, but for me, this song is kind of a guilty pleasure. I'm not going to lie, I kind of dig it. And I also really like the banger-esque chorus too. But yeah, and also there's a bit of a rap part after that song is over, if you listen to the album version, and I do really like that part. But then you get to Stinkfinger, which has never been one of my personal favorites on the album, but I do like it though. It's just never been a song that's really stood out to me as much as other songs. But then you get to the next song, Indigo Flow, and this song was named after the recording studio that this album was recorded in, and you get some name shout-outs, such as Dino from Fear Factory, and also the Deftones, and of course many other people. So, fairly short song, but I dig it. Kind of a little bit of a break from the aggression, of course. Well, you do get a little bit more aggressive guitar work towards the end of the song, but yeah, overall, another pretty cool song on the album. But then we get to maybe one of the most aggressive songs on the album, that song being Leech, and yeah, this song, kind of like with Pollution, all around, just a banger. It's short, heavy, and just doesn't let up. It's just a really heavy banger of a song, and yeah, all around a blast to listen to. Then you get to a pretty intriguing album closer, that song being Everything, and it has a really interesting atmosphere to it. Feels like a jam session. Actually, I think it is. I remember hearing about that somewhere, but I could be wrong about that. I'm just going based on what I've seen and heard, but yeah, the song, if I remember correctly, it's somewhere around 16 minutes long, but I'll admit, not a song that I return to a lot. Maybe it's one of those songs you kind of have to be, I guess, in a certain mental state to be in, maybe. I don't know. Of course, it'll depend on the person. I've seen some people say, of course, like on YouTube, that maybe if you're on drugs or high or whatever, this is the perfect song to listen to. I'm not a big drug guy, of course, but Everything, pretty cool song. Definitely a unique song in their discography. They did never do anything like this again on later albums, but I thought it was really cool that they ended the album off with this song. A bit more mellow, a bit more calm, but you can also still hear the angst from Fred Durst. And yeah, overall, pretty intriguing, unique song in their discography, and of course a unique song on this album also. But anyways, if I had to rate this album, I'd probably give it maybe a 9 out of 10, 8.75 or a 9 out of 10. Again, like any album, my rating could change at any time, but as of now, I'm going to go with either an 8.75 or a 9. Still really enjoy this album to this day, especially with just the raw heaviness of the album. And of course, they would never get this raw again with later albums, which is a bit unfortunate. But again, I do like all their stuff, even results may vary. But yeah, that's my review for the album. Let me know your thoughts on my review. Let me know your thoughts on this album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? How does it compare to their other albums for you personally? And all the good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.